How would you describe the men you know that all women are always after? I had a friend like this for a while. He was just really charismatic. The kind of guy who would walk into a bar alone and be friends with everyone in an hour. He had this uncanny ability to insult people in a good-natured way. I guess a little like negging, but he didn't really mean it like that, if that makes sense. He was also really good at being intensely into a girl and then going cold on them. Like literally inviting them to meet his mom and going on trips with them. Then a week later, why is she calling me all the time and trying to get her claws into me? Apostrophe. Sounds like the D-E-N-N-I-S system. IDK, I know a dude that is objectively very good looking. Like if he walks into a club, then girls will start turning their heads and he's fully aware that this happens. Let's just say his way of picking up girls would be considered creepy if I did it. Even then, he seems to struggle with maintaining a relationship. Besides his looks, he's pretty dry and boring, and I could never tell if he's just a douche or if he's just genuinely boring. Only time I see life come into him is when girls are around, which is kind of annoying because he lacked super bored around the boys, but it's like a switch is flipped when girls come around. Maybe girls can tell how fake he is and lose interest regardless of how good his looks are, or they just get to know him and realize that he really has no substance to him. Yeah, I know guys like that, and it's more common than not that some ladies will be drawn to this guy and after a while realize that he is actually kind of lame. Confidence. Whether real or feigned, confidence is number one. Don't confuse arrogance for confidence. Very different. I'd say it's more of a thin line than a huge difference, tbh. Hard to say. Every woman I had a good to close friendship with had a different type. Can't say there was much of an overlap. One was interested in very sleazy guys and the next into some she could romantically attach to, whatever that means. Finally, my sister is married to a sweet guy who sees her as his equal, and they both look out for each other, while my cousin looked for men with at least above average looks and money. My cousin's marriage isn't as pleasant as my sister's. I had a buddy named Josh who was like this. He had this really deep voice, but otherwise was pretty normal. He was a good looking guy, but not incredibly so. As far as I can tell, women were just drawn to him. He was 5 feet 5'2". He slept with all the waitresses. One didn't surprise me because they were always flirting. This one was like 5 feet 10. Beautiful former model. It surprised me when my other friend told me she slept with him too. She's like 5 feet 10 also, and or wasn't a big deal or anything. It just caught me by surprise. He would just attract girls though. He was sitting in the park before work, and this girl just started talking to him while he was reading a book, then walks him into work, and then meets him after. He slept with this girl he met at a bar, and she came to the restaurant looking for him later on. But he was off that day. This girl was just hungry. We ended up hanging out because we were all going to the bar afterwards, and she was trying to hook up with someone, but we all had a partner at the time. It was pretty hilarious. The guy was cool. He just had some magic to him. He ended up overdosing. He had emotional and mental issues. It was very sad. I remember running into him the week before, and he said he wanted to hang out, and the next week, our mutual friend calls me and lets me know he died. Handsome. Unfortunately, that has sort of made him overly confident, to a point where he feels like he's an expert at everything. Great guy, though. 6 feet 1 plus. Ridiculous athletic proportions. Former college athletes. Smart. Hilarious personalities. Super chill and friendly. Also, the two guys I know like this were snatched up by super babe doctors in their 20s. Huge cocks too, I bet. Massive. One of my former mates was that type. He is a cocky, obnoxious real estate type of guy. Real two-faced. Don't get me wrong, he's a fun cool dude and I have a lot of great memories with him. But when he starts asking me to go out just so he can use me to pay for things for him when he earns more money than I do, I start to get a bit resentful. Did things ever go far for him relationship wise? I can see him initially attracting women, since everyone is gonna see looks first then decide when getting to know someone. But if he's good looking then turns out to be a douche, I can't see him getting past the superficial. As long as I've known him he's had 3 relationships. They all lasted about 6 months to a year. Slightly above average height. Not fat and brimming with confidence. I have a friend that's mid-40s. Thinning hair. Glasses. 20 extra. Always in shorts, shirt and flip-flops. Rarely shaves but has nice teeth. Big smile and dimples. And women from 25 to 50 throw themselves at him. He's funny and charming and will engage with anyone. At his last job there was literally an argument between coworkers about whose turn it was to suck his dick. He would ask these women if they wanted to go in the woods behind the building, getting blown a few times a week by these women. And he wasn't in any kind of superior position of power at the job. He should write a book. Already sounds like the rain god from Hitchhiker's Guide. The unknowingly reincarnated god of lust. Just some scrub with uncanny powers of attraction. Can someone share the link for the same post in Ask Woman sub? This comment has been removed for derailing. Seriously, the F is up with the mods in that sub. After for what? At what life stage? They always want men with social capital. So there is that. They always prefer men who are at least a little assertive in the world when it comes to going after what they want. And of course women like hot guys who are in good shape and are charming. But the script shifts down the line when most of them want a guy who keeps them safe, who is responsible, who has good credit, who is kind, and can be a partner in achieving life goals. Yes, this usually means the guy needs to have a career and earn a stable living. They don't want guys who drink too much, who watch too much porn, whose only interests are video games and TV, who take a lot of drugs, who lose a few hundred a week on FanDuel, with 600 credit, who don't clean their home, and are $10k underwater on their cool car loan with nothing in savings. I would say that the most common thing I have seen in the guys that women tend to go for is that he either told them the pretty lies they love hearing, selling them the dream, or they were the guys that they really couldn't lock down who had options. Physically all of the guys were very different, but the main thing I noticed is that they all seemed to be quite comfortable with selling them the dream. Selling them the dream. What dream particularly? The dream is whatever he says that keeps her wanting him. But usually it's in the form of a vague implied promise of commitment. That man was me. I lifted weights. Was built even in high school. Face that got me modeling work. And I even worked as a stripper when I needed cash for a new car. 6'4". And even flat broke I had women after me. My best friend is like 5'9". Maybe. Always rocked more of the dad bod after he lost the teenage stick figure. He's not ugly, but not handsome. Really good sense of humor. And a fun person to be around. Got just as many girls interested in him as were interested in me. Is lifting really the only secret to being you? Tall. Attractive. Tall. Beads. Bears and Battlestar Galactica. Tall. Good hygiene. Exuding confidence. 9 to 5 job, making enough to live comfortably. Enough to support a family if that's what the woman wants. In this economy. I live in France. All guys that pull strongly have a radiating smile, good body physique. Toned muscles usually lead to French girls hitting on you at the clubs. Height is not important. Biggest fuckboy I know is 169 centimeters tall. Clothing style that looks good and elegant, a cocky vibe. Girls who like flirty guys who are intelligently rude. The vibe thing is the most important point. You can have all the good looks etc. But if you don't have the riz, it's game over. It's been a weird mix of guys. Nerdy, slender build with a great sense of humor, and rumored to be hung like a horse. Tall, rich, sleazy and playing starving artist. Broke, ripped, arrogant as hell. Generally big/chubby, strong. Funny, intelligent, reserved. I think the common denominator though was all these guys were comfortable with themselves. They also weren't chasing women who were in completely different worlds. The nerdy guy was getting with the hottest girls who played board games. The rich sleazy artists was picking up college girls who didn't know better. Broke, ripped guy was just cheating on the one woman who found him dateable all the time. The big guy was going after average / girl next door types. It's about knowing your league and yourself. Great paying career, educated, physically healthy, positive morals. It's tragic to see everyone in this post describe women chasing horrible men. I suppose it differs with the dating pool. Being educated in my late 20s, the only women in the dating pool are also similarly positioned women beginning their careers around the same time as me who have the pay and free time to focus on improving their health to begin a family. The women who chase horrible men are not the women you want anyway. I was not that guy, but I had those women chase me because I looked like him. Too much drama and too high maintenance. Water finds its own level. Let the horrible men have the horrible women. Charming, handsome, confident, and doesn't talk too much about himself. Confident and competent, to put it simply. He's below average height, shorter than me even, overweight, but he's got long thick hair and lashes every woman compliments. I won't deny I wish my hair game was on his level, but he's got confidence and he likes to be helpful all the time, always offering support. As far as I know, he's straight, but he's been flirted at by guys even, and it's almost comical how often he could get hit on by anyone. But he's married and they're expecting, so maybe having a baby in tow would affect that. Either way, dude has something. Now I'm not sure if I interpreted the question right, but yeah, I have a friend who could probably pull anyone if he really wanted to. Handsome, probably well off too. You know the type. Pretty face, great hair and premium / luxury clothes. Living in a really diverse city, it's interesting to say they are predominantly white. Height, income and whatever else seems to not really matter that much to the above category. Opposite of me, apparently. High status, handsome is a plus, I'd say, cause I know ugly guys that are rich and the women have no issues with going after the rich ugly guy. If I was in their position I'd do the same, I guess. However, it is very predictable.